Good morning. When I heard the subject was freedom, I'm like, I think I know a little bit about that. Just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. And what I heard was, and what came to me is your greatest good. Is it small or is it large? Does it expand? And it's all about freedom. Freedom of choice. Do you put yourself in a box or you take yourself out of the box? When I was in the military, they thought I was too big for my pants because I kept thinking big and growing big and getting more expansive with what I did. They said, well, how can you do that and be in uniform and be spiritual? And I said, because I bring it to the table, not separate. That's the freedom that I made. That's the choice that I made. I created a family in the military. That's my freedom of choice. And by doing that, it expanded my family. I taught many, many students. So I was teaching 10,000 students a year, and they were like, how can you keep track of all of them? I'm like, they keep track of me. But it was the freedom of teaching them how to be fully present every moment of every day, no matter where they were. Because in the military, it's a misconception that we're teaching them to be warmongers. I was teaching my kids to be peacemakers and peacekeepers, because that's the peace. That's what we want to experience in the world. When you're in military intelligence, it's very strange kind of place to be, because you want to do the best and you want to keep people safe. And by keeping people safe, you have to be safe within yourself. So the freedom I chose was, I'm going to be the peace that everyone gets to experience. I'm going to be what you want to experience in this life, not what's on the outside. I've talked to many presidents and many other people, and they're just like, you're amazing. I'm like, it's the choice, and it's all about choice. Whether you thinking small or big, that's the choice that you're making, and you have that freedom. You are free to think however you want to, but what is it that you want to experience? You know, we all talk about, I want to be this and I want to be that, and I'm like, what's holding you back? Yourself is holding you back, not your family. Because I was called to ministry when I was 17, and my dad was a police officer, and he said, you can't be a minister. I'm like, watch me. So I joined the Army, and I took my ministry with me, and then I became a minister afterwards. And I'm like, see, Dad, I get to be a minister. That's my choice. And that's really what it's all about when you get down to the brass taxes. What do I want to choose for my life? Because we go through all these different stages. You go through college and all of that stuff, and you're choosing different things. But the biggest thing you need to choose every single day is, how do I want to be today? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Because today is all that's showing up. So if I'm free today, then I'm going to have that experience of freedom. And I was reading about Nelson Mandela, who was imprisoned for 27 years. 27 years. Gone. But he said, I didn't imprison myself. I chose to be free, even though I was behind bars. And it was like, oh my God, how amazing is that? And that's what we get to do. We get to choose how we want to be. Because being in prison is what we build around us. If you don't leave your house, if you don't go to a concert, if you don't do something because of what's going through your mind about old stories and old thoughts and old stuff, you're imprisoning yourself. You know, Ernest Holmes says, don't build that prison. Get out of the box. Go and do whatever wonderful thing you want to do. Because the only person holding you back is you. If you want to go and be a doctor, be a nurse, be a whatever, just go do it. Don't even tell anybody. My parents didn't even know I joined the military until after I signed. And I was like, too late. And that's how I've led my life is, I'm going to do what I need to do for me. Because if I wait on somebody, if we wait on the right moment, the right time, the right whatever, it's never going to happen. We have to make it happen within ourselves. We have to step outside of that box that we're holding ourselves in. That's the freedom that we have. You know, can you imagine if George Washington said, man, it's too cold today to cross the Delaware. I'm not going to do it. We wouldn't be a free country. You look back at the Dalai Lama and what he teaches. He was thrown out of his country, but that didn't stop him. What is stopping you from receiving your good? What is stopping you from being all of who you are? What is holding you back from all of your good? That's what you have to ask yourself every day, not just once in a while. Every moment you get up this morning and you say, what am I going to be today? And if you're on automatic, get up, get my coffee, in the car, and just go to work, you're not being your full self. And I caught myself doing that. I'm like, stop. You're not experiencing life. We're here to live. We're here to be what we want to be, whatever that is. It's not, being a nurse was not what I want to be, but my sister is. And I'm grateful for that. I couldn't do that job. I can't do all of these different jobs, but I can do this job, and I do it really well. And that's what we have to look at, what freedom is all about. I get to do this job really well. I get to feel who I am really well. And I have the freedom, and I get to breathe into that. And when we let go of other people's expectations, because people want to put you in a box. They don't want you to be great. They don't want you to have your good. They want you to be in this small little thing to be carried around. Psst, that, no. We are been born here. Spirit has brought us here to be the best that we can be. We are free to be the best that we can be. We imprison ourselves. Or we let our families or our friends or teachers or whatever. And you're like, I'm not doing that. That's not what I'm brought here to be. That's not who I am. That's not what I want to experience. I brought my mother to come live with me the last few years of my military career, and I chose to get out to take care of her. That was the hardest decision in my life. But in the same time, I found science of mind. And I'm like, oh, this is why. And so I stepped into that. I love the military. I love what I did, but I love what I'm doing right now. Talking to people, helping them be the best they can, having the freedom of going out and visiting people at home and doing the job, because this is my calling. But I could have stayed home. I could have locked myself in an office, done a 9-to-5 every day and grind it out, but that was not what I was called to do. I was called to be here with people, be in outreach in the community. There's not anybody in my little town that I don't know, because I want to know them. I want to know what's going on. I want to have the freedom to know what's happening. I want to be the peace that they want to experience. I want to be the happiness that they know that they can have. I want to be all that they want to experience and can learn how to be. I want to be that leader, that show wayer of how do you experience your freedom. You have to do that with ourselves just by being who you are. If you go in the grocery store and the clerk is really grumpy, Do you let her be grumpy? Oh no, that's a challenge for me. I'm like, girlfriend, you don't get to be grumpy today, not with me. No. So I say, hey, how you doing? How do you feel? What's going on in your life? I stop and they're like, you're the first person to ask me that. It's because I care about you. I care about you. You're not having a good day. I want you to have a good day. So how is your day? Oh man, it's like, it's been crazy. I said, yeah, but put that smile on your face and it'll be a better day. And I walk out knowing that I touched someone's life. I could have been grumpy, but the choice is I'm not going to be that person. I'm going to be the happiness that they want to experience. I'm going to be the smile that they want to experience. That's the freedom. To be happy when everybody's being a grump. To be peace when everybody's caught up in the chaos. People talk to me about stuff and I'm like, I'm not into that. I don't deal with that because that's not what my experience is. My experience is this. I don't deal with all this other stuff and I don't get wrapped up in the chaos because that's not my life anymore. Because I chose to be free from the chaos. And that's what freedom's all about. Choosing to be outside of the chaos and not in it. And watching your friends just scramble and be all caught up in the drama. And I'm like, you know what? Just step out of it. Step out of the drama. Step out of that stuff. Take a look and say, is that what you want to experience? I don't. Is that what you want to have in your life? No. Do you want to be in that small space? No? Then step out of it. That's the freedom you have. That's the freedom of choice. That's the freedom to be outside of that prison that you've created for yourself. I used to have this facade that I would be, all this, and I had to get rid of that. I had to find who I was, because I thought I was being myself. I was being what I was expected to be. And when I stepped out of that, I found me. Man, I'm an amazing person. We're all amazing people. That's the freedom that we get to experience. Wow, I get to be myself. I get to have what I want to have in my life. I don't have to deal with all that stuff. And when we remind ourselves every day, not just once in a while, every morning, wake up and say, I'm going to have the experience of my life today. Because tomorrow is not guaranteed. It's not. And yesterday, it has a reason why it's called history. It is history, but it doesn't define you. And when we get wrapped up in all of that stuff, those old beliefs, those old stories, that old yucky stuff. A teacher from the 4th grade said, you can't draw. You're not an artist. Who are you? And you carry that throughout your life. I'm not an artist. But one day you take an art class and you find out, no, I'm not an artist, but I can make some incredible cakes. That's where my artistic is. I can't draw with beans, but I can make a wedding cake. So that's where my artistic endeavors come from, not from drawing. But I had to learn that. I didn't have to listen to that 4th grade teacher anymore. When we listen to other people tell us who we are, that's not freedom. We have to step outside of that. And it's amazing what comes up. It's amazing who we get to be when we sit in and empower ourselves and say, I'm really an amazing person. And we tell ourselves that I am an amazing person. Guess what? You act like an amazing person because that's all a part of it. I get to stand tall. I get to be who I am in every situation. I stop at every accident. People are like, are you crazy? I'm like, no, because I'm the peace in the chaos. Because the cops are running around. I'm like, okay, what can I do? How can I help you? And it's amazing how it brings the chaos down. That's what we get to do. That's freedom. That's freedom. So get out of our prisons of others' expectations and step into our power. And it's scary. Oh my goodness. Going through ministerial school, I'm like, what am I doing? Who am I? But we find out who we are. Through the challenges, we find out who we are. When life is challenging, it's because we need to pay attention to what we're not paying attention. If you get in an accident, it's because you weren't paying attention. I have been watching this worst drivers in Russia thing and going, I don't want to drive there. They don't even know how to drive. I don't want to drive there. That is crazy. But it's choice. So that's my choice. I'm not driving there. But when you're not fully present, that's when you get in an accident. When you need a speed bump to pay attention, that's when challenges come in our lives. It's not that you're not good enough or you're not worthy. It's like Spirit is saying, I need you to pay attention because you're not paying attention. You have the freedom to pay attention. There are countries that do not. Women are now just being able to drive in Saudi Arabia. And that's an amazing thing. It's the 21st century. We've been able to drive a whole lot longer. And so when we go to these other countries and see what women cannot do, it's amazing. And I'm like, watch this. I would drive in Saudi Arabia. They're like, what are you doing? I'm driving. Come arrest me. I don't care. I'm driving. But that is stepping outside of expectations. That is stepping outside of all this other stuff that we keep telling ourselves. And when you take an EFT class, you learn how to step outside of that. When you do a spiritual mind treatment, you're stepping outside of that. When you're saying enough, because I deserve, you're empowering yourself. And that's the freedom that you get to experience. When you let go of all the stories, and we've got them, don't we, gang? Don't we have all the stories? I'm 62 years old. Why am I listening to my mom say blah, 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 blah? Forget that. I'm 62. I'm on my own. I'm moving forward. I know people that are in their 80s still thinking that, well, you know, my mom said I wasn't very creative. Grandma Moses started painting at 90. Hello? She stepped into her power. That's what we get to do. She took the freedom. She's like, heck, the heck with this. I'm going to paint. And that's when we find our power. That's when we find our true selves. That's when we get to say, I am free to do what I want to do. I am free. And I step out of that and step into all that I am. And you read through our textbook, I found 33 passages on freedom in our textbook. So Ernest Holmes is like, you're free. Get over it. No one's holding you back but you. So get over it. And that's what we need to do, is get over ourselves. You can be blonde, you can be brunette. We've got hair colors that you never even thought of having. Ooh, rainbow, okay. It's not me, but I'm so happy to see kids out there expressing themselves with different color hair and clothes that I would never wear and things like that. But I'm so glad that they feel comfortable. Get out of that comfort zone. We don't have to feel comfortable. We get to feel comfort. There's a big difference. You don't have to have this if you truly want that. You have the freedom to do that. You don't have to have whatever it is they're being told that you have to have. And that's a reminder that you have to do every single day. You are empowered by yourself. No one else. You can let them empower you. You can let them tell you how to live your life, but that's not freedom. Empower yourself. Read a book that nobody else likes to read. Go to a place like Norway, Amsterdam, the Caribbean. Go on a trip. Go where you have seen other people go. Just do it, as Nike says. Don't hold yourself back, because you're not really free if you're holding yourself back. You're not doing anyone else any good either. Because if you're sad, you make everybody else sad. It does ripple out. If you're happy, everybody else is happy. I went on a deployment to a really awful place. It was hotter than dirt. You think it's hot here? No. But I always had a smile on my face. And one of the sergeant majors came up and says, "What are you on?" I said, "I'm on life. I get up every morning, I pray, I know this is going to be a great day. We're going to do great things. We're going to save lives. We're going to do wonderful things. We're going to have great briefings, even if it's Rumsfeld. We're going to have a good life." And he's like, "I want what you have." I said, "Come on over, I'll teach you." That's the best part. I want what you have. And when someone says that to you, you know you have chosen well for your life. I want freedom. I want peace. I want happiness. And I don't settle. Don't settle. Don't get in the box. Get outside the box. Because that box is going to confine you. You deserve everything you want. You are more than enough. You are more than worthy. You are more than whatever you keep telling yourself. No matter what your age, you can change your life because it's a choice. It's freedom of choice. We have a constitution. We have a Pledge of Allegiance. We have the Science of Mind text that says you get to choose. Take a class. Discover who you are. If you're not liking life, come to class. If you're not liking what's going on, come to class. Because it's a choice. And we get to choose. And I love that about Science of Mind. It teaches us that we have a choice. It teaches us that we have freedoms that we never thought we had freedoms. Because we just kept thinking that it was something else. Somebody else's impersonations of who we are. And when you step outside of that, you're lighter. Stand taller. I'm only 5'2", but I think I'm 6'2". I really do. And that's the cool thing about life in Science of Mind. We get to stand taller and be better and be all who we can be. And I want you to have that life. I want you to have that freedom. I want you to choose what you want for life. And this is the perfect place to start, right here and right now. And if you have anything else to discuss, come see me at the EFT and we'll take it even further. Because when I do EFT with vets, they don't know they're getting Science of Mind. They have no idea. Because we start with the meditation, then we do our little EFT session, and then I close it with a spiritual mind treatment. And they have no idea why they're feeling so good. And that's what life is all about. Feeling so good. And that's what I want for each one of you. Take a class. Step outside. Know that you are free to do whatever you want. You are worthy. You're enough. All of those old stories is history. It's history. Here's my quote for you. Freedom of will means the ability to do, say, and think as one wishes. To express life as one personally desirable thing that I want to do. Merely to think and dream big is my freedom. The liberty I have is the freedom to think and dream big. If you're not thinking and dream big, you're not living life. So let's take a moment in prayer. We're dreaming big. As we're joining in consciousness, knowing that God is right here. There is an unlimited supply of happiness, tranquility, peace, love, compassion, and passion. Because Spirit is that unlimited supply of wholeness, of happiness, of all that each of us want to experience. I'm knowing for each person here that they are stepping outside of the box. They're kicking the box down the street and stepping into their own power. I am knowing for the Center of Spiritual Living here in Las Cruces that they are thriving as a community of love and compassion and growth and stepping into their power. Each person here is stepping into all that they are. Each person here is having the experience of a lifetime, because that's what Spirit wants us to have. And I know for each one that life is a party, is a beautiful experience. It's all that each of us desire. It's not about story. It's about desire. And I know that Spirit is blessing each person here with the new experiences, the new life, the freedom to be all that they are. Freedom to be that unique expression of God. Freedom to have a life of artism and creativity and whatever it is each person wants in their life. It's about freedom. And Spirit, I'm so blessed to be in this congregation, to be able to speak and say, you can have it. I'm so grateful for this time together. I'm so grateful for all that we share. I'm grateful for the freedom that this congregation is stepping into. I am grateful for each person here today. I'm grateful for the blessings that are coming their way. I am grateful, God. And I simply release these words into the law, knowing that it's done. It's complete. It's finished. And I allow it to be. And so it is. Thank you so much.